Have you ever noticed something funny? The people with the most productivity apps are often the least productive people. Someone has a calendar app, a to-do list app, a habit tracker, a note-taking app, a Pomodoro timer, an AI assistant, a focus app, a water reminder, a sleep tracker, and somehow they still forget to reply to your message from 3 weeks ago. Somewhere along the way, productivity stopped being about getting things done and became a hobby of collecting apps. So today we're ranking the most popular productivity apps to figure out which ones actually make your life easier and which ones are just digital decorations. We've got 5 tiers. S tier, life-changing. A tier, excellent. B tier, good. C tier, only for certain people. D tier, why does this even exist? Let's begin. Starting in D tier, water reminder apps. Now, don't get me wrong, drinking enough water is important, very important, but do you really need an app that sends you notifications saying, hey, you should probably drink water? You're telling me we've reached a point where our phones have to remind us to perform one of the basic functions required to survive? If you genuinely forget to drink water, then sure, maybe it'll help. But for most people, it's another notification they'll ignore 5 minutes later. D tier. Next up, flashy habit tracker apps. And yes, I know, some people absolutely love them. The problem isn't tracking habits. The problem is turning habit tracking into the habit. You open the app, you admire your streak. You customize the colors, you unlock a badge. You spend 20 minutes organizing tomorrow's routine instead of actually doing today's routine. It's productivity disguised as productivity. C tier. Now let's talk about focus music apps. These apps promise scientifically engineered sounds that supposedly make your brain enter ultra instinct mode. Rain sounds, cafe noises, forest ambience. Some even simulate sitting inside a spaceship. Do they help? Sometimes. If silence distracts you, they're great. If you're constantly skipping songs every 30 seconds, they're useless. B tier. Next, Pomodoro timer apps. This is where things get interesting. The Pomodoro technique has existed for decades. Work. Take a break. Repeat. Simple. The structure helps a lot of people avoid procrastination. But here's my problem. Imagine you're completely locked in. Ideas are flowing. You're making incredible progress. Then suddenly, ding, time for a break. Excuse me? My brain just reached maximum efficiency and this tomato-shaped timer wants me to stop? Still, for beginners, they're fantastic. Solid B tier. Moving into A tier. Google Calendar. This app is boring. Painfully boring. Nobody wakes up excited to use Google Calendar. But the moment you stop using it, your entire week becomes chaos. Appointments disappear. Deadlines sneak up on you. You accidentally schedule 2 things at once. A calendar isn't exciting. It's insurance against your future self. Easy A tier. Next, Todoist. Or honestly, almost any good to-do list app. People underestimate how much mental energy gets wasted trying to remember everything. Buy groceries, reply to emails, finish assignments, call your friend, renew your subscription. Once it's written down, your brain finally relaxes. That's why to-do list apps stay in A tier. Simple, reliable, effective. Now let's talk about Notion, probably the most loved and most overcomplicated productivity app ever created. Some people use Notion as a notebook. Others have somehow recreated NASA's operating system inside it. Seriously, I've seen Notion dashboards with weather forecasts, stock prices, calorie trackers, habit systems, journal pages, second brains, life goals, reading lists, and somehow a coffee tracker. It's incredibly powerful, but there's a danger. You spend 6 hours making the perfect workspace and 0 minutes actually working. Despite that, once you learn it, it's amazing. A tier. Now let's move on to cloud storage. Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive. These are the apps nobody appreciates until disaster happens. Your laptop dies. Your phone disappears. Your hard drive decides retirement sounds nice. Suddenly, Cloud storage becomes the greatest invention since electricity. Automatic backups, access from anywhere, sharing files in seconds. It's one of those things you don't think about until you don't have it. Easy S tier. Speaking of S tier, let's talk about AI assistants. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. This category completely changed productivity. Need to summarize a 50-page document? Done. Need to write an email? Done. Need help studying? Done. Need ideas? Done. Need somebody to explain a concept 5 different ways until it finally makes sense? Done. Now, they're not perfect. Sometimes they confidently invent information. Sometimes they misunderstand your question. But even with those flaws, the amount of time they save is unbelievable. S tier, without question. And finally, automation apps. Zapier, Make, N8N. This is where productivity stops being about working harder and starts becoming unfair. Imagine every repetitive task you've ever done: copying data, sending emails, moving files, updating spreadsheets. Now imagine you never have to do them again. That's automation. At first, it feels complicated. Then one day you build your first workflow, and suddenly you realize you've been wasting hundreds of hours doing things a computer could have handled in seconds. Nothing comes close. Automation tools deserve the very top of S tier. So here's the final ranking. D tier, water reminder apps. C tier, habit tracker apps. B tier, focus music apps. Pomodoro timers. A tier, Google Calendar, Todoist, Notion. S tier, cloud storage, AI assistants, automation tools. And honestly, the biggest productivity mistake people make isn't choosing the wrong app. It's believing that another app will magically solve a problem they've been avoiding for years. Because at the end of the day, the best productivity app isn't the one with the nicest interface. It's the one you actually use. Now, I'm curious, which productivity app do you think deserves S tier? And which one is completely overrated? I'll see you in the next tier list.